Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be graphing lines using slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form might be something that you're familiar with, and if not, today we are going to dive more into what slope-intercept form is and how it's useful. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is we are going to graph the line that passes through the given point and has the given slope. Okay, so we're first of all given a point and we're given a slope. M stands for slope, and then our point is given as an ordered pair, x comma y. So what we're going to do is we're going to plot our point 3 comma 4. How you do that is you go on your x-axis, so x-axis, y. We go x-axis 3 units, so right 3, and then we're going to go on the y-axis up 4 units, so right 3, up 4, there's the point 3 comma 4. What we're going to do next is to get a line, we are going to graph our slope of 2 over 3. We're going to do that from our point that we already plotted. So to graph our line, we're going to go up 2 units over 3. So up 1, 2 over 3, 1, 2, 3, and put a point. Notice we're out of room on our graph, so what we're going to do to get another point, we're just going to do the opposite. So instead of going up and right, we're going to go down and left. So down 2 over 3. Down 2 over 3. And now that we have enough points to cover basically the whole XY plane, we are going to connect our dots. And there's our graph of our line. It goes through the point 3, 4, and we have a slope of 2 over 3. Okay, next one, we are going to start at negative 4, 5. So left 4 on our x-axis, up 5, plot that point. And our slope is negative 1/4. The negative always goes with the numerator, so that's the same as this. So we're going to go, instead of going up 1, we're going to go down 1 since it's negative, and then right 4. So last time we were going up and right, now we're going, since our slope's negative, down and right. So down 1, right 4. Down 1, right 4. And then connect your points. And then if you could pause this video and try C, that would be great. Okay, welcome back. So let's take a look at C. So the first thing we need to do is plot the ordered pairs 0, negative 3. So left and right, we're not going to go any units. We're going to just stay at the origin, and then we're going to go down 3. That point also has a special name that we'll talk about in just a second. And then our slope is 4. To get our rise over run, you can just put it over 1 if you want. So we're going to go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1. And then from that point, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1. And now we can connect our points. And there's no certain amount of points that you need to plot. You only need 2 points technically to make a line. I just like putting more so it's a more accurate line. Okay, so just taking a look at a few things here, you can tell that these 2 lines are positive slopes because they're going up from left to right. And you can tell that the middle one is a negative slope because it is going down from left to right. Okay, now taking a look at our second example here, the first thing A is asking us is we want to find the slope of the line. Well, the slope is the rise over the run. So first of all, we can tell it's a positive slope because we're going up from left to right. So to get from one point to the other, it looks like we're going up 1, which means we're rising 1. So it's definitely 1. And then how much are we going to the right? We're going over 1, 2 units. So we're going up 1 over 2. So our slope is 1/2. That's also known as M. M stands for slope. So M equals 1/2. At what point does the graph cross the y-axis? Well, we know the y-axis is the vertical axis. So that's this one. At what point does the graph cross the y-axis? It looks like here, which is 3 on the y-axis, 0 on the x, so 0, 3. We call this point, that point, just like I was kind of talking about before, it has a special name. It's called the y-intercept. You may have heard this before. The y-intercept is just where the graph crosses the y-axis. If somebody asked you what's the x-intercept, it would just be where the point or where the graph crosses the x-axis. So y-intercept where the graph crosses the y-axis, x-intercept where the graph crosses the x-axis. Now to write the equation of the line, we need slope-intercept form. Well, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Very, very famous equation right there. And you'll hear a lot of people say, if somebody asks, what's slope? They'll say, well, it's y equals mx plus b. That's not what slope is. That's slope-intercept form. The reason it's called slope-intercept form is because you need a slope, which is m, and you need a b value, which is your y-intercept. So now for C, if we want to write the equation of the line, well, we need y equals m, which is our slope. We already found was 1/2. You put x, and plus b. Well, our b is our y-intercept, and we already found that that's 3. So it's plus 3. And it's as simple as that. That's how you write the equation of the line. Okay, now moving on to our last couple examples here. Now we're just going to graph. We're going to find the slope and the y-intercept for each equation that is in slope-intercept form, and we're going to sketch the graph. So pretty easy here. They're all in slope-intercept form. So we see our slope is the number that's in front of the x, and our y-intercept is our constant here. And you always write that as an ordered pair. Y-intercept always has 0 as its x value because along the y-axis, all of the x values are 0. So 0, 3, now we plot. You plot your y-intercept always first, and then you use your slope to create more points on the line. Up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. If I want to create points to the left, I do the exact opposite. Down 1, left 2. Down 1, left 2. And then I connect my dots. You try and be as accurate as you can. Okay, and I see it's rising from left to right. It's going up from left to right, so I know I graphed it right because it's a positive slope and it's also going through 0, 3, so that makes sense. So if you want to pause the video and give the rest of these a try, feel free. If not, you can definitely watch the next few and then give the bottom ones a try. Up to you. Okay, so B here, our slope is 3, the number in front of x. Our y-intercept is 0, -5. And while we're at it, I'm just going to fill in the rest of them. For C, we see that there's a negative in front of the x. That invisible number is 1. So our slope is -1. Our y-intercept is 0, -2. And D right here, our number in front of x is always our slope, so that's -2/3. And you'll see we don't have a y-intercept. It's not 1, it's just 0. There's nothing there. So it's 0, 0. Okay, now we can graph our lines. So B, you start at your y-intercept, 0, -5, and use your slope to generate more points on the line. So slope of 3 is the same as 3 over 1. So rise 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Rise 3 over 1. Now if you compare this line in B to the line in A, you'll notice that the line in B is a lot steeper than A. As your number or your slope increases, so if my slope was 300, it'd be even more steep. So it gets steeper as that number grows, and as the number gets closer to 0, the line's going to get flatter. Okay, so taking a look at C here, our y-intercept is 0, -2, and our slope is -1 over 1. So down 1, right 1. So now we're going down and right instead of up and right. And now if I want points on the other side of the line, I do the exact opposite, up and left. An easy way to tell if you're accidentally plotting it wrong, say you accidentally went up and right, you see how it's starting to create a V? Well, we know this graph is the graph of a line. It's linear, so it should be a line. That's one way to check that you're plotting them right. Okay, and now it's just a matter of connecting all these points. And that one makes sense. It should be going down from left to right because it's a negative slope. And then our last one here, we start at the origin, 0, 0, right in the middle, and we go down 2, right 3. Down 2, right 3. To get points on the other side, exact opposite, up and left. Up 2, left 3. Up 2, left 3. And then just connect your points. Okay, so there we have it. That's how you graph a line when it's in slope-intercept form. The last 3, if you want to try those, you definitely can. You can pause this video. If not, I'm just going to finish up the last 3, and that'll be it for this lesson. So in A, we have an invisible 1 in front of our x, so that's our slope. Our y-intercept is 0, -4. Our slope in B, the number in front of x is -1/3. Our y-intercept is 0, 5. And our slope in C is 4. Our y-intercept is not there, which means it is 0. And then just plot your points. So 0, -4, plot my y-intercept. Use my slope, up 1 over 1. Remember, if it's just a whole number, it's always over 1, so it's going to be right 1. Up 1 over 1. And there we go. It's just as easy as that. In B, start at your y-intercept, 0, 5, and go down 1 over 3. And if I wanted a point on the other side, up 1, left 3. Connect your points. Always putting arrows on both sides. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Just to show that the line continues on from -infinity to +infinity. And our last one, our y-intercept is 0, 0. Our slope is 4, so up 4, right 1. Down 4, left 1. And you'll notice that line's pretty steep because on this graph, since we're only going from -6 to 6 on both the x and y axis, it looks pretty steep. It's definitely a lot steeper than A, which is a slope of 1. Okay, that's all we have for this lesson today. Hopefully this helps. And again, like always, if you have any questions,